Yay. Hey, hey. First of all, Destiny, kudos for showing up. Um, it's for people who are Ruby and above. So that would probably make sense. Because I don't think she's boxed yet. Okay, so I am super excited about this. This is going to be so fire. Destiny, you're about to get so much of the freaking dirty deets and get poured into, so I hope you're ready for this fire. But the entire team needs to hear this, so I hope that everybody watches this on replay. So today we're going to go over all of the fears that you guys put in the Survey Monkey. We are touching on the ones that popped up the most. And it was kind of like cool how we did it, I think, in my opinion, because I just kind of like threw it out there and we each kind of picked ones that we really resonated with. And so I'm excited for not only to hear what you guys have to say, but to share some of this stuff, because I think that these are things that aren't talked about enough in this business. And I really want you guys to know from the bottom of my heart that we have been where you are. We have been where you have been. And we are speaking only from experience and from a place of love and a place of just wanting to help you get through some of the crap and the fears that we have had to deal with going through the different ranks, going through just the longevity of this business. So I wanted to first open up with something funny about me that you may or may not know. If you know me really well, you definitely know this about me. If you don't, this is kind of an interesting fact. I want my food so damn hot, it is like melting my face off. And I don't mean temperature, I mean spice. So like literally the hotter, the better. So when I hang out with Nat, my heart is just like on fire because she always has hot sauce just like on lock. And I know I can count on her for that. So thanks for being my Cholula hook. But I'm obsessed. So fun fact about me. And then I also wanted to just jump right into the actual definition of fear itself, because I think when fear is talked about, and Connor and I were talking about this morning because I told him that this was the topic of our Zoom, and we both kind of agreed that when people talk about fear, they talk about what it is they're fearful of, and then they immediately jump into the fix. And sometimes you need to start with the very, very beginning. Why are you fearful about this given thing or whatever? So I really wanted to break down what fear actually is and what it means. The literal definition of fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by a belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain, or a threat. I want to point out two key words. It is an unpleasant emotion caused by a belief. Okay, so these are things that are in your head. Danger is very much so real. That is an absolutely real thing. But fear is in your head, and it is all about how you think of it. When you see or saw the boogeyman the first time as a little kid, you were probably really afraid. If you watch the boogeyman now, you would probably laugh. Nothing's changed. The movie's always been the same. You just know better now. And it's the same thing regardless of whether it's life or this business when you're fearful of something. So to break it down even more, and I can't remember where I heard this first. I want to say it was in May Cause Miracles by Gabby Bernstein, but don't quote me on that. I absolutely could be wrong. But she broke down the acronym for fear, and it's false experiences appearing real. So something that you are experiencing, you are putting on this personified judgment of it as it's already happening, but your thoughts aren't always the truth, right? So sometimes you and I could perceive the same exact situation very differently. And one person might be very fearful because it triggers them in some way. And I may be like totally fine because I don't have that in my reticular activating system, right? So you just have to start thinking about those things. But I want you to also really feel what fear feels like. Like think about something that you're fearful right now. And what does that feel like in your body, right? We need to start recognizing when we're fearful, not just in thought, because it starts here. So for me personally, it's maybe sweaty palms, or I start to sweat in my armpits a little bit. And I get this like really huge pit in my stomach. And then it kind of works its way up and my chest feels just like super tight, and then maybe I salivate a little more, right? You start to feel that before your thought is even saying, oh my gosh, that's freaking me out. Or sometimes I'll even like shake, like I get jittery. I'm jittery right now because I had way too much coffee and I haven't eaten yet, so totally unrelated. But I really want us to start with that basis so that when we're going through these, it's going to trigger some of you in some ways. The things that we talk about are going to spark those same feelings in your body because these are things that you guys told us that you're afraid of. These are things that we are also afraid of, right? Or have been in the past. So we need to learn to recognize those things and then take it for what it is and not be fearful of it, right? So I wrote down just another little like blurb that says, fear is one with the ego. Laugh at, and this is also from Gabby Bernstein that I learned, but laugh at the insanity within the ego. If we let fear plague our lives, it will feel like you're doing push-ups in your sleep. And I cannot relate to that more. Like when I'm having super bad anxiety or I'm super worried about something, it doesn't ever feel, regardless of how much sleep I get, like I got a good night's rest or like I'm well rested. I literally feel like I got beat up in the middle of the night. Put a 1 in the chat if you've been there. Like I know I'm not alone. And it's so true. So when we recognize that fear is one with the ego, you're able to kind of laugh at it more and to just not, to take it for what it is with a grain of salt and move on. So the number one thing that we saw, not like in order, but that I was going to touch on is when people say, and I've definitely been here, I'm scared to lead others and I'm scared to teach the wrong thing. I think that this is so common, like literally in the beginning of my business, and I'm going to go over like some of the thoughts that I had that kind of went along with this. But I know for a fact, I was so fearful of what I'm even going to do or say to these people, right? So you're not alone if you've ever thought that. But I like to ask why I feel a certain way about something. I don't like to just have that thought and believe it immediately. I'll usually ask myself, okay, why am I feeling this way? So I often thought things like, I don't even know what I'm doing, right? How am I going to teach someone else when I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing? And when I look back and when I thought about this statement, I thought about what I did when I didn't know and I enrolled my first couple distributors. And I went to my upline and I said, I have no clue what I am doing. I need help. Will you get in a group chat with me and this person and show me how to train them? Okay, this was way back. This is well before we created and have spent the hours that we have on creating training material for you guys to use with your distributors, right? Like there is a 10-day, day by day, step by step, script by script training that we have for you guys to use if you don't know where to start. But when I first started, I just went to her and I was like, I need help. And so we were in a group chat for 2 days. That was the max. And she wasn't really taking over training necessarily, but she was helping with the screenshots and I was seeing how she was responding. I was seeing how she was showing her how to set up your eSuite, how to print out a chart, all the things that we go over with our distributors now that's in our training. But if you don't know, it is okay to ask. Just like we don't expect you when you first join this business to know what you're doing in your personal business, I don't expect you, and no leader on this team expects you to know how to train your newbies. But sometimes we don't know if you need us unless you ask. And 90% of the time, 99.999% of the time, we'll be on it. And I've already sent you the training if we know you haven't enrolled a distributor before. Like there's really good layered leadership on this team. So you should never be in that position. But if you are, just ask. Hey, I have no freaking clue what I'm doing. No one is going to judge you or turn you away. They're going to be like, boom, here you go. Here's the whole script. Here's the 10-day system. Read it over. Do you have any questions? And we will spend the next 15 minutes going over those questions with you, you know? So take advantage of that. So that will definitely alleviate some of that stress. And then some of the other things that I thought was like, what if this doesn't work out for them? Will they blame me because I'm a bad leader, right? Like sometimes I think that we think if they don't do good, that's on us. That has some sort of reflection on who we are and how we've shown them how to do this. And you guys, what I will tell you in the 2.5 years that I've been in this business is that is the most false belief that you could possibly have. Okay. And I'm going to tell you why. If someone does not succeed in this business, it is not because you didn't show them how to do this properly. There is a thing called Google. There is a thing called YouTube. There's a million team pages. There's so many other ways they could get their information, even if you didn't exist. Okay. But outside of that, this is their business. This is their paycheck. They started this and invested in themselves. And we have to remember and remind people of that. You started this with me, number one, because you trusted me to guide you to success. And number two, I send them their why and say, you started for these reasons. Is this not important to you anymore? Because ultimately they're giving up on themselves. They're not giving up on you, right? So when someone doesn't do the work or simply isn't willing to do the things that are necessary for this business, they are not going to succeed. And you cannot do the work for the thousands of people that you are going to enroll if you are a lifer in this company. You physically do not have the time and the energy to work everybody's business for them. That's why you spend 70% to 80% of your time on your business. And the 20 to 30% is given to your team. Because if you start focusing on what everyone else is doing and you stop looking at you, you've created a really big problem, because another huge piece of leading a team is starting with you. What are you listening to every single day for self-development? Are you listening to 60 plus minutes a day, or are you listening to 20 minutes and calling it good? Are you showing up every day posting? Are you showing up in your team chats even if no one reads them? Are you hosting power hours even if no one hops on? Like, what kind of leader are you showing up as? Because just like your vibe attracts your tribe when you're enrolling new distributors, that carries on through your business. How you work your business every single day is how your team is going to work is how they're going to work their business. So if you take your eyes off of your business and you focus on them, what do you think they're going to do? Look at their downline and expect them to do all the work. Or if they don't have anyone there, they're going to quit because no one's doing it for them, or their upline isn't placing all of the customers under them. You're taking the direction off of what truly matters. So ultimately, you guys, anyone can do this business, but it is not for everyone. Otherwise, everyone would do it. Everyone would succeed. Everyone would be diamond and above. That's just not reality. And that's okay, because the ones who do get there, the ones who do stick it out and do the work, reap the reward. And I say it all the time, and I'm not going to be the only leader that you'll hear say this, is people quit before the getting gets good. And a lot of people aren't willing to treat this like a business. They want it to be a 9-to-5. They want to be paid to be a warm body in a seat. And that's just not business ownership. That is not what being an entrepreneur looks like. I watched a movie last night, and the guy said that he was an entrepreneur. And this girl that he was talking to said, "Oh, so you're unemployed?" No, that's not how this works. I work more than probably, we as entrepreneurs, regardless of what business you're in, probably work just as hard, if not more, than the employees, right? So you want to be the hardest worker in the room. You want your team to work hard. You want your team to get 10 enrollments. You want your team to get 20 haps up. You best be doing the things and showing up first. And I've definitely slacked, you guys. I am not perfect. There are definitely things I could work on and 10x in my business that would take all of you guys to a whole nother level. And I'm always working on that. But when we recognize how much we've achieved already, also, you get so much excitement and joy out of working anyways. So I don't want to touch too much on that, but it's not on you. Let's see. I just said you can't control other people, but you can choose to move forward and to have faith. And ultimately, the majority of your distributors, I don't want to say the majority, but a very good portion of them aren't going to work. A good majority of them, this isn't going to be for them. There's 1% of people diamond and above in this company, which means I'm looking for a solid 3% on my team that is working and kicking ass, because you only need 3 people to get to the top of this company. When I have 3 more me's, which I'm sure I already do, we will be that next team. when you have 3 U's, when you have 3 people who want this for similar reasons, who want to go grit balls to the wall, you'll be there. So why do we stress out about the 4 people who quit? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. And I, like I said, in the beginning of my business, felt so scared to lead people, but there's so much guidance here. And that is just one thing that I love about this business that I've never experienced in another network marketing company ever, is the amount of support that you have here, and like true, genuine friendships, and feeling like you can go to people and being like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, and actually get the help that you need. So next thing, what if I teach them the wrong thing? So we could what if all day long about our business. What if I don't succeed? What if this all falls apart? What if I go Ambassador Diamond and every single person on my team quits? What if I never enroll another person? What if no one puts like, we could seriously for hours sit here and daydream about all of the fears that we have with this. But ultimately, there is no right or wrong way to work this business. There's not. Like, as long as you are staying within compliance, which, side note, if you don't know the things that are compliant and non-compliant, you should really read up on that, because that is super important. So just go into eSuite, you can read all of the documents that there is on anything that you could possibly want to know. But if you're staying within compliance, meaning no poaching, you're truly showing your distributors how to work this business. They're putting income disclosure statements on their posts. They're right, like they're following all the rules. It doesn't matter as long as they're getting the enrollments, as long as you're showing them how to put people in the system and how to train them however you were taught. There's really good layered leadership on this team, you guys. Like, I doubt anyone on this team is teaching you something that is just absolutely sideways. And I guarantee you, not a single one of us is going to be offended if you go to another leader on this team and be like, hey, I just want a second pair of eyes on this. Like, what are your thoughts? Or how do you train your distributors? Or how do you schedule your days? Because Nat and I, Mads and I, Renee and I, everybody, single person on this team works their business so much differently. And that is okay. This is not a one size fits all. This isn't a one shoe fits the whole crew, right? I know I'm like using cliche terms, but you get my point. The other thing that I wanted to touch on with that too is, as long as you're here for the right reasons and you are genuinely coming from a place of love and genuinely coming from a place of wanting to help these people make money and achieve their goals, you're not going to steer them down the wrong path. You know what I mean? There are some bad seeds in this business, absolutely. And there are some times that people come to me that have been in this business 2 years ago, and I hear their experience and I absolutely want to cringe. But that also happens at Nike. That also happens at wherever you're freaking working. Red Robin. I can't tell you how many people have bitched to me about working at Red Robin. You know, it's just like, that's a part of business. So when you're here with the right intentions and you constantly have that thought of like, she is me, right? Like, whenever I'm talking to another distributor on this team, she is me. This is a mirror reflection right now. If I was sending this message that they're sending me, how would I want a response, right? How do they want a response? You're going to be just fine. And the other thing is too, is that, like I said earlier, there are so many tools. Like, there simply isn't an excuse to not know how to do something. I don't care if it's to lead, to how to send messages, what daily tasks you need to be doing. Like, there is a video for absolutely everything. So another good book to read is It Starts With Why by Simon Sinek. And then I know I'm running short on my time, so I'll hurry up. But next fear was, I am afraid of not hitting my enrollment goal specifically. So I'm not talking about rank. I'm talking specific enrollment goals that you have, whether that's per week or maybe you're just focusing on your steps to success, right? So 6 customers, 3 distributors. First of all, I've been there more times than I can count. So like, join the club. And honestly, each enrollment that you have is so worthy. And I think so often we get stressed out about, oh, I didn't hit my steps to success. Oh, I didn't hit my enrollment goal. And we get this like turmoil of all the things we didn't do, but you did enroll that one customer who placed 150 VV order and they're going to refer somebody to you. But you did enroll that one distributor who may as well be your next diamond. And what if they are your next diamond and you're putting so much thought into the fact that you didn't complete your steps to success and you're just worrying about it all day and you're in a crappy mood, and so you're not leading her and you're not teaching her how to work this business, then she's not your next diamond. And you just wasted that enrollment. You just wasted that person's opportunity, and you selfishly took that away from them, because ultimately that's what this is, right? Like when we don't train somebody, we are legitimately taking away an opportunity of a lifetime because we're too lazy to screenshot or copy and paste something, right? So it's very simple, but I've totally been there. And the other thing that I just said is go after it anyways. There are going to be a million goals that you set out in this business, or even just in life. I want to eat healthier. I want to go on a run every day. Like, we have all these things that we say and don't do, and that's where keeping little promises to yourself is so important. But ultimately, you have to be so hungry for what you want and so aiming for the moon that you're willing to land on the stars, and that's still okay, right? There's a place of contentment and a place of where you're just stuck, kind of. And then there's this place of, oh my God, that's never going to happen, enrolling, let's just say, a goal of 1 million customers that month. But what if you hit 10,000? That is so much better than if you had made a goal of 10 in your place of being stuck and then got 2. Right? So start looking at your goals. And I said, recognize how you feel, ask why, and take immediate action. Focus on the small wins and just building. And Jade Hooper talks about it best, you guys. She talks about this mountain, and it's not these new mountains that you're climbing every single month or every single rank or whatever. You are climbing the same damn mountain, and you are going to be building, whether you are a distributor pushing for executive or you are ambassador 2.0. There's never a point in this business where you just make it and everything stops and you don't have to touch your phone anymore and you just like get to live the millionaire life. Like, until you're Mark and Cindy and own the company, that's just not happening, and you see how hard they work, right? So we need to be working just as hard, if not harder. If the owner of the company is showing up and going live all the time and providing new things for us, why should we be doing even half as less for our teams, right? So huge, huge, huge. Remember, fear in this business or in life will always be here. How will you respond? And then I said, my last tip is just call it out, write down your fear, like life, business, whatever it is, legitimately write it down. Identify why it's insane. So what I mean by this is, if you are afraid of losing your job, you would identify it. I am afraid of losing my job. And then you would write down all the reasons why it's insane, meaning, I have no reason to think this. There's nothing that came up that is making me think that I'm going to lose my job, right? That's just some random fear that I have in the back of my head. I could list all of the infinite ways that I could make money right now, and that is going to make me see that this one job, my worth isn't based off this one job. I can go anywhere and my value will remain the same. You know what I'm saying? So you can list all these things out. And then I legitimately want you to burn that piece of paper, because you are letting go of it. It is no longer. You're burning that shit to the ground. And you want to do that. And we did this last year at Green Carpet. And I can't remember where else. But we legitimately wrote down 10 fears that we all had. We shared them around a fire, and then we legitimately threw them into the fire pit. And I would love to do that as a like team bonding sometime when I have a bigger house and like legitimately have a fire pit. But do it on your own, and you can do it in the sink, whatever. But that's kind of my 2 cents. So Nat, Mads, do you guys want to go next?
Okay, well, I'll go. All right, so I was told to say my name. So hi, I'm Natalia. I don't really have any fun facts about me because I just am kind of weird, but I like photography, so there's that. So okay, well, fun fact, I am obsessed with notes. I have to have notes about everything. At the moment, I literally have mush brain because I've been so focused on moving everybody that I literally wrote on the piece of paper, not bullet points, but like sentences about what I should say. So that's fun stuff about me. So my first kind of subject is, will I annoy people? So people asked, or that's their fear, is like, are they annoying to people, or how to get over feeling annoying. So everyone has felt this way. And if you tell yourself you haven't, you are definitely lying to yourself, because I can tell you every single person, maybe even once a day, thinks about this. Like, am I being annoying? So I kind of laughed because I was reading this thing online when I was kind of like trying to get inspiration about like ideas on how to, because this is me again, like I'm totally a notes person. I will literally go to Google and be like, how to not be annoying. Like, that's the kind of person I am. So I literally saw this thing and it made me laugh because it said everybody thinks MLMs are annoying, like even you, although you work for one. And I literally laughed out loud because my best friend does Mary Kay, and I can't tell you how many times I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, I don't care. And it's so mean of me, but I'm like, I don't know, because I taught myself this honestly probably not too long ago, maybe like 4 or 5 months ago, when I really started trying to make that leadership shift for myself. How to posture myself, and it's literally what it sounds like how to be confident about my business without kind of seeming like an asshole, for lack of better words, or for arrogant or whatever. So I kind of taught myself that, so I don't go to her and tell her things about our company or what I'm missing for my rank or what I need for my chart or whatever. And she tells me those things, which is fine, like, do your thing. But I'm the kind of person where if you only talk to me about your business or what you have or all that stuff, that is the kind of stuff that's annoying. That's the kind of stuff that makes people not want to talk to you. If you're just constantly, oh yeah, well, I got that. Like, someone's like, oh, well, I have acne. And I'm like, oh my God, no, I know what you need. You know what? Hold on. Let me just grab my website. We're going to sign you up right now. Like, that shit's annoying. Okay. No, you have to literally ease into the conversation. Maybe a week later, remind yourself, oh yeah, this person was like, oh, I have acne. Let me just see how they're doing. Like, one, you thought about them for a reason. You're not thinking about them because you want to sell things to them. You're thinking about them because you're like, oh, I remember she told me that. So, hey, how's it going? Like, start up a conversation and be a person. I'm kind of jumping all over my notes, but keep it simple. Okay, this is something I found myself like telling everybody lately. I was even helping Claudia yesterday, and I just told her, I'm like, don't overthink things, because you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. So keep it simple. Don't overshare, but just be confident. Like, you know a lot about these products, and if you don't, then you need to study up on them. Like, it's simple as that. It's simple as that, okay? There's videos on YouTube where you can go look up product knowledge by, I think it's Joel and Stephanie. I think there's one from like Morgan and her husband. I don't know if they're actually married. Okay. Yeah, perfect. So I'm not crazy. Or you can just literally go read about your products. When I first started this business, I printed out every single product information sheet and I carried it around in my journal until I knew what in the hey I was talking about. Everyone those two can attest for me. I know they know. Like, my journal was literally this big and I didn't care, because I was like, I need to know what I'm doing in order to have this opportunity work for me. So I always laugh about that, because I'm not saying please spend $50 and print out every single thing. It literally was disgusting and weighed like 79 pounds. But it was so worth it because it taught me, and that's how I learned. I can't sit here either way. I would have written notes and watched that YouTube video. So it's like, I might as well just print out the dang thing and show people if I needed to. So that was a little extra of me, but it was definitely worth it for me to learn. And then I like saw this, I don't remember where I saw it, but this is kind of always stuck with me. I was reading it somewhere, and it was about a girl who was who was a part of network marketing, and some guy she saw who she hadn't talked to in so many years came up to her and was like, oh, are you still doing that pyramid scheme thing? And she just goes, it's not a pyramid scheme, it's network marketing. It's for some people and it's not for some others. Like, it's for the willing, is what she put. And I just kind of thought to myself, like, oh, it's a really good way to word it. Like, you're not oversharing by saying, oh, you have no idea what this company has done for me. Like, oh, I've made billions of dollars. You don't have to be successful to talk about your company. You don't have to have massive success to do that. You can literally be the Ruby leader you are right now, aspiring to be a diamond leader, X, Y, and Z, or diamond plus, whatever you want. And you can still control your conversation with posturing, like I said. So you can sit here and be like, oh yeah, I am a part of network marketing. I love it. Like, simple. Don't overthink it. You won't say the wrong thing to the right person. I will tell you that every day. I even wrote it down better. I wrote, so if someone asks, like, are you still involved with that MLM thing? Respond with, yeah, of course. Like, if they ask you why, well, it's a residual income with the schedule that worked for me because I wanted to work from home and my kid doesn't have to go to daycare. That's literally what I say to people. And it's just kind of like point blank period. And so posturing is kind of like figuring out how to balance the combo. Again, how to be like confident without seeming like an asshole. Like, oh, I make millions of dollars and you're not even worth my time. That's rude. But so if they don't seem interested, like if you're like saying something like that and they're just kind of like, oh yeah, whatever, first of all, that's creating a curiosity in their brain. So one, they're going to start checking up on you and they're going to be like, oh my God, it really pissed me off that she didn't say anything about her company or whatever. Like, now I'm going to go stalk her page because I want to know if she's genuinely successful. Like, it creates curiosity. And you don't have to badger on about it. Like, you don't want to convince somebody, like, I'm trying to think of a better way to say this, but you don't want to convince somebody that they need this, because if you do that, they are not going to work for you. Okay, so you're going to tell people like, you need this because I'm going to be an aspiring millionaire and so are you. I'm going to take you with me. Well, hopefully you're an aspired millionaire, but you can't give that promise to somebody because one, they may not even be willing to put in the work, and you're over here putting in your time and your effort to this one person when you're forgetting about everything else underneath. Or I don't know, just things like that. Like, you can't convince that person they need this, they want this for your reasons. And then a little bit about oversharing again, like make sure not to overshare. God, I can't even read my own writing. Just make short informational answers. If someone asks like what you do, just like, oh, well, I work for my social media helping people achieve their goals. It's literally just that simple. And if they're like, well, what do you mean? Like, well, you can display it either way. Like, I either help people through 90-day challenges to either lose weight or something else that we offer, or I help people build their businesses from the ground up, and that excites me. Or I love helping people because that excites me. I don't know, something like that. And if you use tone, just like how I said it now, like that excites me. Like, it genuinely excites me when I have new distributors join and I literally help them build their business from the ground up. Or even seasoned distributors, if we're trying to figure out what didn't work for them before and trying to start like a new schedule or a to-do list or something that works within their day, that excites me. Like, ask Brie. I can't tell you how many times I've just jumped on Zoom with her looking like a hothead crazy person. And I'm like, all right, I have 79 different kinds of things. Let's go for it. And I'm like, pick which one of the 79 works for you. Like, I'm not kidding. My work excites me and I value my work and I value my distributors. And so using a tone is like absolutely important, because if you're like, yeah, I still work for them. Like, what do you mean? Like, obviously someone's like, oh, okay, dang, sorry, little lady. Like, I did not know you was going to talk to me like that. You know, like, that's rude. So I always put something like, use a tone like, I'd love to work with you someday. Because one, you're not begging them. Two, you're inviting them. But you're also not saying like, oh my God, you need this business. Like, sign up with me today because I'm literally going to take you to the top. Like, that's begging somebody. Begging somebody, that's a better word, begging. Begging somebody is not going to get you anywhere. And then I heard this saying one time. It says, posture with attitude that network marketing works. And if you're open to learning, it will work for you. And then I kind of like thought to myself, like, I don't really get that. So I'm going to read it again. Positive. Oh my gosh, I can't even speak anymore. I can't speak. I can't read. I can't write. What a day. Posture with attitude that network marketing works. And if you're open to learning, it will work for you. So read that in your head or write it down, because that has stuck with me for the longest time. If you're not sure what posture looks like, you're going to find out one of these days, because your leadership mindset is going to change and you're going to figure out how to posture and how that works best for you and your business. Let's see here. Oh, so moral of all that story is you're not going to be annoying. You're going to figure out how to be confident. Don't self-limit yourself just because you think you're being annoying. I'm sorry. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry. We're having a garage sale. I'm pretty sure somebody just tried to walk into this room. Anyways. Okay, so that was that. Okay, so there's those two. My next one I wanted to talk about is missed rank specifically. Lex talked about missed enrollment goals, but I want to talk about missed ranks. So I made a couple different bullet points on how I've dealt with these in the past, or how I felt like I have tried to like shift my mindset around not being upset about missing a rank, especially during the bonus season. And the first one is set and communicate goals. So I can't tell you how many times I've gone to Lex and Mads and I'm like, okay, I want to goal this, I want to goal that, I want to do this. But to be honest, I haven't done this, I haven't done that, and I haven't been as hardworking on this that I could have been. So without honesty with yourself, you're not going to go anywhere. Okay, because I can tell you guys, like with the moving, the garage sale, everyone moving to different states and houses, I've been busy. My mind has been all over the place, which is literally why I wrote sentences on these pieces of paper so that I didn't remember, or so that I do remember what sentences are. But I can't tell you guys how many times, like, I haven't been sleeping very good either, and that's been really messing with me. And I've been telling those two literally at least once a day, like, I don't know what is going on with me right now. I don't know if it's stress. I don't know if it's anxiety. But in order to meet my goals, like, I have to figure it out first. I can't go anywhere without myself. So my first one is set and communicate goals. I just wrote, be open to your faults. An example, if you haven't worked as hard as you could have, or if you know you didn't provide your team with things that they needed, or another, like if you blamed your team for falling apart, for falling apart. Sorry, I don't know why I wrote 7 times. Or not being a knowledgeable leader. Like, I say these things because these are things I personally went through. Talk to your upline about where you can see yourself in 6 months or a year, or where you want to see yourself in 6 months or a year. And they will help you find different opportunities as to how you can fix what you're doing, or adjust is a better word to say. Because every leader will have their time. Every team, part of this team, will have their time. There just has to be, you have to be on the right mind, and you've got to take your team and have that right mind. So setting and communicate goals is a huge thing for me, because you don't want to take anybody's opportunity away just because you are not right now. Doesn't sound great, but I mean right mind. The next one is be a team player or be a knowledgeable leader. So if you don't know what that means, go to your upline and literally SOS them. Your team will know when you've, oh wait, hold on. Sorry, I literally didn't form sentences. Your team will know when you're focused on the I, because there's no I in team. Without your team, you won't go anywhere, but without yourself, you can't lead them. So we want team players who are committed to helping the greater good of the team. We want people who are willing to put in the work to be a more knowledgeable leader, in order for everybody to go up. So the next one is keep learning. Okay, you never stop learning. There are always times where you can learn more too. It said, I just put like, strive for more for yourself. You set up goals and you want to achieve those goals. Better your knowledge then, whether that's about the products, results of customers, your own results, or friends' results. Watch what is working for an upline. For instance, the other day I posted who's looking for a part-time job or a full-time job. And I saw about 8 of the same posts, because everyone saw how much my post was blowing up, that I saw like Jamie's post and she had like 25 comments. And I was like, God dang, like, okay, I was over here with like my 10, like all excited, but she just doubled that plus more. Like, but I was really happy about that, because everyone saw like what worked for me at that moment. So everyone started doing it. And it was nice, because it was like everyone had 5+ comments. And if you don't know how to keep learning, which sounds silly, just literally YouTube it. Ask for training videos or look at the Moneymakers page, because we don't put the training videos on there for absolutely nothing. We put them on there for you guys to watch, for you guys to learn, because we've either gotten something from that video, or let's say we watched it the day before and was like, the whole team could literally listen to this right now and get something from it. So seriously, take advantage of those, because again, we don't just do that for fun. We do it because it's something that everybody needs to hear. And we spend a lot of time looking for those. Like, it's not just something that we just go to YouTube and type in like, it works, or Carrie Young or Ashley Mayfield, look at the title and it's like, yeah, someone will benefit from that. No, we literally watch the video. We literally are like, okay, 7 people are coming to my mind right now who could use this video. I'm going to use it tomorrow. So there's a lot of thought and process put into that. And then this one is going to sound silly, but even Lex touched on it, is document your success. Okay. I started doing this thing, and it's kind of like journaling. But I will put down in my notebook all the successes that I've made. So if I've sold a sample, if I sold 2 samples that day, I'll put sold sample to, for instance, the other day I sold one to my friend. So sold sample to her name. And then I put $20. And then sold sample to this person, $20. And then I realized, oh shoot, the other day I made $40. That's awesome. Maybe I've already spent it already because let's say I needed gas or something. But I didn't take that hard work that I took time to sell the sample for and got $40. And I didn't give myself a win for that. I got gas. Hell yeah, that's a win. So I will literally put that in the thing. I would say with that $40, I got gas. As lame as hell as that sounds, it's literally a win. Okay. The other day I put $100 towards my credit card. So I literally put in there 7/12, I don't remember what day it was, but 7 whatever, $100 credit card, because that's a damn win. Okay. I could not have done that before. Like, giving myself not only figuring out how to budget, but moving out and like having to pay more rent than I've ever had to pay, all these bills, etc. I'm really learning how to budget myself. And not only is this little like small wins thing really helping me out, but it's giving me like, oh shoot, I didn't even realize I did all that. Like, I'm really freaking proud of myself. Like, and then it also, we have in the Moneymakers page, the debt-free like post. So if you guys haven't commented on that or figured out how much debt you have, even if your debt is literally $100, which I pray to God every single one is, because I wish mine was $100, go put that in there, because when you pay that off, you're going to be like, I went debt free because of this business. You sold 5 samples and got $100. You paid off all that debt. Damn. Like, that is a freaking win. And you better highlight that in that, whatever you decide to put it on, even if it's like a Google Doc or a Word document or whatever you want to keep it on. Like, document your small wins. I know some of us, I think it was last month or maybe the month before, Kiana had actually asked, like, what do you want to pay with sample cash? And she had said her phone bill. I had said, oh, one day I want to pay my rent with just sample cash, but I got to work towards that. Okay. But outside of that, I wanted to pay, I don't remember, I think it was like $100 to my credit card. Well, I paid $100 to my credit card. So I did the dang thing, because I sold 3 samples last month, and then I sold 2 samples this month so far. I think maybe more. Moral of the story being is I did that. I said I wanted to do that, and I did that. So I put that in that journal that I did that, because that was a win for me. Don't belittle your wins. I actually wrote that because, like I said, you want to feel like you've accomplished something. You have accomplished a lot. First of all, you've been in the business for X months, maybe X years. That's an accomplishment also. And then don't be afraid to take charge or be engaged. That sounds silly, but I want to take like the Moneymakers page for an example. We've asked multiple times, like, who wants to try and step up and figure out how to help us or better your mindset for leadership or whatever. Y'all better hope to God y'all not think that I was not freaked out when they were like, hey, can you help us? And I'm like, this girl, you want me to help you? No, thank you. You guys, I nearly pissed myself. And I was like, how the flip am I about to be like, oh, everyone, hi, it's day 18, what the hell am I doing? That's how I feel every time I write one of those. Okay. It is scary. It is frustrating because I'm like, I don't know if I'm providing any value for anybody. Like, I don't know if the things that are helping me right now is going to help anybody. And that's just like a self-limiting belief that I have, a fear, as Lex put it. I forget what the actual acronym is, but I really liked that acronym. So don't be afraid to take charge and be engaged. Even if you want to take over one post a week, it is still offering help. It is still, you're going to learn what a diamond leader does. And we're going to help you. It's not like we're going to be like, okay, we want 6 paragraphs, 4 videos, a yoga video, and 7 leaderships, all under the minutes of 15. No, we're not that psycho. Like, it's just like a 9 to 5. Like, you don't want to develop bad habits. You don't want to start working your business less. You don't want to start doing less and less every single day. You don't want to forget about your team. You don't want to forget about team calls. You want to do team activities. This is going to teach you how. I will tell you, my first couple posts, I was literally, like I said, shitting my pants. Okay. After that, it got so much easier because I'm like, I will sit here. I told Lex and Mads the other day, like, if I get inspired, I immediately start writing a post. I have 4 posts written out on my notes right now that I can, when I'm ready to post it, or I feel like people need to hear that, I'm going to post it. Even if I decide the day that it's my day that I don't feel like any of those are going to be helpful, I'm going to write another post. Like, I'm not saying you have to go out and about and do all the things and start writing 500 million words a minute. But I mean, like, things that are going to inspire you or are going to help you are bound to help at least 4 or 5 other people on the team. Let's see here. Oh, and I also wrote, this type of leadership is essential to go, like, to be promoted, to go up in this business. You have to learn how to do the things a diamond leader does. And without doing those things or going through them or being scared about them or projecting your own fears about them and then getting the hell over it, you're just going to be stuck in that position. So yes, missing rank sucks. And sometimes you have to be, oh wait, what did I say? Sometimes you have to, God, I have no idea what I read. Anyways, I'm going to skip that line. But missing your rank sucks sometimes, okay? Only you are allowed to feel bad if you knew you busted your ass that month, you doubled your 6 list every single day, you sent out as many freaking follow-ups, you got blocked on Facebook 46 times, your text messages blocked you. Like, I'm not kidding. If you bust your ass, you have the right to be upset for 5 minutes. That's all I'm giving you, okay? Because that shit is gone. You don't need that. That is just unnecessary stress that you are adding to yourself. And then it starts giving you more self-limiting beliefs for the next month. Like, I didn't do it last month. I know I'm not going to do it this month. Maybe the following month. No, take that crap, burn it, throw it away, flush it down the toilet, eat it. I don't care. Whatever you got to do. Eat your words. I like that thing. But that was kind of like, for me, like, I've always had a fear of missing rank, especially during bonus seasons. Like, that is my own thing that I'm learning how to work through. And that excites me because I need to learn how to do that. And then my last subject is the amount of money and checks that come with it. If you are literally talking about the amount of money you get, you are in this business for the wrong reason. Okay? You are not here because, I mean, sure, 25% of the reason why you're here is because you need a paycheck. You need to survive. You need to feed your kids, X, Y, and Z. But it's how you get there that truly matters. It's not about the money you receive every month. It's who you help, whether that's a new distributor or a new customer, or whether you've helped this customer for 8 months and they're still ordering from you. It's that matters. So I know everyone has been frustrated with the check, because trust me, I have been frustrated with the check before, but it was never really until I decided to figure out my reason why I'm here that I understood why I was upset about the check. Everyone has felt like they deserved more, but have you worked for more? And I'm not just meaning like making haps, putting up haps, or messaging 10 people a day, or following up with 10 people, or adding 10 people. I'm not talking about any of those things, because technically you don't get paid on those things. Those are things that you are doing to boost your business. So push those things out of your mindset, because that is not why you are getting paid. You are getting paid to help people. Again, whether that's customers or distributors, the two of them. There's also other ways that you can make money. Have you attested for those? Have you tried to sell samples? If you tell yourself they don't work, that's a damn lie, because they work. Samples are great, whether it's your own product, whether it's collagen you carry, keto coffee that you carry, keto energy. Are you offering samples for all the product that you have? Because you love your product, I totally understand. Somebody else might love your product and they might not have the money to do the 90-day trial at the moment. So you can offer them a $20 sample packet and send them 3 days worth of the keto coffee, send them 3 days worth of collagen. That's what I do. I have one in my car right now that I'm going to take to the post office later today that I sold for $20 for keto tea. That's another one that I'm really good at offering samples for, because I have keto tea and I'm not a chai tea drinker. So why not get paid for the samples that I have instead of just sitting on my counter, not doing anything with them? So on here, I wrote a couple things about, another thing that have you attested for? Have you signed a distributor and fast started them? That's $150 in your pocket, y'all. I'm not talking about the literal commissions check you get. Might be, let's say $100 is your commissions check. You're kind of just starting out. You get $100 commissions check. But you enrolled 2 distributors your first month and you sold 4 samples for $20. Okay, that's like what, $80 right there in your pocket. 150, just $200, $300 right there, let's say you got for fast starts. And then your $100 paycheck. Y'all round that all up, okay? What, $600, $700 your first month, let's just say that we're going with that. Damn. Because I really wish that when I started my business, we had this $100, $150 fast starts. I probably would have busted my ass even more, okay? These are things that sometimes I forget about. But you can't be upset about how much commissions check you get when there are plenty different other ways you can make the money. And I don't mean like go sell your clothes or host a garage sale or move out of your house. I literally mean sell your products that you have. Offer things to people. Yesterday I was talking to Claudia because we didn't have, or she didn't know we had salted caramel K-cups. Okay, I'm not calling you out. I love you. I'm using this as an example. The other day, one of my distributors didn't know that either. So you know what I did? I offered to send them some samples. Claudia, don't hate me because I didn't offer to send you one. I'm sorry. I love you. I'll give you one if you want one. Anyways, like the other day, I offered to do that for my distributor. And she was like, sure, yeah, I'll take that. And I was like, okay, cool. So I just mailed her out a couple. I didn't even charge her because she's my distributor. And if she wants to learn about the products, I'm not going to deny her that opportunity. If the money is the reason why she can't buy that product, great. Come to me. I have that product. I've got freaking stacks and stacks of all products. Ask me for something. Jamie's a really another good person. She came to me too because she needed product. And I've offered my hand 100 times. Like, hey, if you need anything or you want to try something, just let me know. I got you. I'm not going to not help you out, you guys. And I'm sure Mads, Lex, Destiny, Bree, and Claudia are all the same way. We're not going to not help you. I can't tell you how many times Mads and I have gone to each other because we live damn down the street from each other. And she's like, hey, do you got coffee? And I'm like, yeah, bro, do you got something else? Like, I can't tell you how many times. Lex and I, when I go over to Lex's house, I'm like, dude, do you have keto energy? Like, I'm dying. And she's like, yeah, dude. The next time, she's like, hey, do you have a keto energy if we're out and about? Yeah. Or anytime we're at team bonding, I guarantee you, the 3 of us are like, hey, you got this? You got that? Like, I just took over collagen and chocolate greens to Lex, and I'm just like, here, dude, have them. Like, I've got like 79 bags in my, I don't even care. Like, I'm not saying you need to buy $15,000 worth of product to be successful. I'm just saying, use your branches, okay? Everyone is going to help you. Even though Des isn't under my downline, she is more than welcome to come to me. Claudia has come to me and she's not on my downline. Like, the same goes for the other leaders on the team. If you guys feel more comfortable going to somebody, or somebody's even online, you see them online and the 3 of us aren't online or whatever, literally message them like, hey, do you know where I could get some collagen samples? I'm pretty interested in trying collagen or chocolate greens or super greens or whatever. Use your branches, okay? Use your branches. Ask for help. Lex touched on that earlier, so I'm not going to go more into depth. But like I said, when I keep track of everything that I'm doing, whether I sold a sample, whether I paid for gas, whether I put $100 to my credit card, all that is really making me realize, like, one, how much time I have on my hands that I'm truly blessed for, because I have an opportunity that I make my full-time income from home, or going to make my full-time income from home, or part-time, or whatever you doing this business for, whether it was $200 more to go shopping, whether it was to actually buy the products and get a money as like bonus or whatever. Whatever you joined for, remember that every time you write in this journal or this Word document or this Google Docs or whatever, if you decide to do this, which I really recommend that you do it because it really opens your eyes on how much you actually do for your business. So again, if you're worried about the amount on your paycheck, you are in the business for the wrong reason and you need to figure out how to change that mindset. I'm remembering that we are here to help people, whether that's start up their business or help them get whatever health and wellness goal that they have. And then I think that is it for my 7,000 notes. Mads, take it over.
Okie dokie. Hi guys, I'm Mads. So I have mind getting the better of me and rejection, which I think is hilarious because these are things I still struggle with to this day. So I was listening to this podcast a couple days ago and she said, fear is just a 4-letter word. It's just a word that people say. It doesn't mean anything. It's not important. It's like if you say, I don't know, another 4-letter word. My brain's not working. But like, it's just a word. It's not this all-end hail word that we have to stop everything for. It's just a word we use like car or house or bird or train. It's just a word. It's not something to be. I know Lex had some actual definition earlier, so I'm not going to go into that because I can't remember. But it's not something to be afraid of, which is hilarious. It's not danger. It's just a word. So the mind getting the better of you. So here's my 2 cents on that, is your mind cannot get the better of you if you're always pouring good things into it. It cannot stop and give you negative thoughts if all you're listening to are positive things that are going to make you better. Some things that helped me with this and still to this day help me is I named the negative voice in my head. His name is Paul. He's a mean person. I hate him. I named it, and I always, always, always start my day with a positive note, because if I already have those positive thoughts in my head, then as I go throughout my day, nothing can stop me. There's a barricade like that he can't get through. But if I don't start my day with those positive things and I'm rushing out the door, everything that happens from then forward is now a negative thought, and my wall is weakened and he can get through. So if you have that wall to protect you and you're always doing what you need to do to boost your mental state, which is, I don't know, mine's really like in the morning I get up an hour before and I listen to my Audible and I listen to a podcast and I do my devotionals and I read my book and I do all the things that I need to do to get my mind right. And then I get ready for work. So like I'm always doing the things that I need to do to make sure that my wall in my brain is strong and secure so that Paul cannot throw a dart through it and ruin my day with a thought. Because Paul likes to do that. But yeah, it's very common. It's not something that doesn't happen ever. Like everyone goes through it. I really did name him Paul. It really is Paul. I hate the name Paul. Don't ask me why, but that's why I named him that. You're not the only one that goes through that. You're the majority here. You're not the minority. We all have those thoughts. We all have those negative things that pop up. We all have bad days. Yesterday was a day for me where I did my morning routine and I was doing really good. And then all of a sudden it was just like down. And I don't know why I couldn't pinpoint what happened. Sometimes it just happens. It's a thing that happens with people. It's not uncommon. I suffer from a lot of mental things that get in my way, but I refuse to let them drag me down. I put a video in my team page today from Rachel Hollis that she put on my Instagram IGTV story. Go watch it. I kind of like divorced Rachel Hollis more than I liked married Rachel Hollis, which is sad, but I do. And she said something that kind of struck with me because 2020 has been a rough year for everyone. There's been a lot of things happening in the world. There's been a lot of things happening in your personal life. There's been a lot of things happening everywhere. And she said, I will not let 2020 get the best of me. I will not say, oh, I'll try again in 2021. I'm just going to wait for 2021. 2020's flushed down the toilet. I'm done. I'm out. No, she's like, I'm not going to let 2020 win. I want to win. I cannot let 2020 win. And I think that if we keep having that mindset of, I'm not going to let you win. Like, you're not going to beat me down. I'm not going to do it this year. Like, I'm doing this for me. And you have to remember why you're doing that, which is why it's important to have that wall structure built up with your self-development in order to protect that peace, basically. And I know Trent Shelton talks a lot about protecting your peace. And so if you're interested in learning more about that, his podcast is a lot of podcasts about it because he's really, 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 really big on protecting your inner peace and protecting your space. But yeah, just do your self-development. And I always look for the positive in the negative. So if something happens, I always look for the silver lining, which is very, very sometimes hard. So like yesterday we were sitting outside at my mom's house and they were joking about taking estrogen, and my sister-in-law's sister was like, oh, I can't take that because she has like breast cancer that runs in her family and whatever. And she's like, but on the silver lining, I guess I get a boob job, like as a joke, but she's like looking at the positive of the cancer. And I was like, well, that's one way to look at it. Like, you know, like whatever, but like, it's just as hard as it may be to see the silver lining, you have to sit down and think about where that positive line is. So like, no matter what's happening, and there's always a silver line. There's always a silver line. Another example is my mom quit smoking this week. Yay her. While my stepdad was out of town, and everything broke. Our oven broke. The sound bar broke. The house basically fell apart. We had to turn off the breaker at one point. She hurt her knee and her ankle 2 weeks ago, and it was hurting again this week. Like, she has had like the week from people. And like, I was like, Mom, Jesus is just testing you to make sure that you're serious about quitting smoking this week. And she's like, well, it's really hard for me, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, at least you're doing it. Like, the silver lining of that is like, at least you're doing it. And now you're going to have an extra 20 years because you did it. Who knows if that's accurate, but like, you know what I mean? Like, the silver lining of it. And so always try to see the silver lining of the negative thought, even though it's sometimes really, really hard. And then my next part was rejections. And this is something that I still struggle with. And if you're a people pleaser like me, you feel like when people reject you, they're rejecting you as a person and they don't like you anymore and they hate your soul. Okay? Every time. When I first started and people would tell me now, I'm like, what did I do? Are you mad at me? Are you okay? Like literally it was awful. And like, rejection's hard. Rejection's hard in anything. Like, if you get rejected, if you like go up to some dude at the bar and he's like, oh nah, you're like, ooh, that's a dagger. But like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, rejection's hard regardless of what you're talking about, whether you're signing a DT, whether you're signing a customer, whether it's a job interview and you got rejected for, whether it's an apartment you applied for and you got rejected for, whether it's a boy that you asked out and you got rejected for. Like, it's all okay? No part of that has ever been fun or enlightening. Okay? None of it. It hurts. But when they're rejecting the product or the opportunity, they're not rejecting you. They're not saying, oh, I'm rejecting you because you're a POS and I don't want to ever talk to you again. They're rejecting the product or the opportunity. They're never rejecting you. Like, it's about what you're trying to give them. So like, if I'm trying to sell Nat coffee and she's like, no, I just don't think that's it. I don't really like that. I don't really want to do that. Like, she's rejecting the coffee. She's not rejecting me. I didn't do anything wrong. I just gave her the information and she said, no, I think I'm good. Don't take that to heart. It's not about you. Stop making it a selfish act of them rejecting you, which is something I had to learn, that is selfish of you to think that they are rejecting you. It's not about you. It's about the product. It's about what you're selling them. And maybe the product doesn't fit for their lifestyle. And that's a conversation you have to ask them. Like, that's the conversation you have up to the product. Like, if they're saying, I don't work out, I don't eat good, I don't do this, and they don't drink coffee, like, then think of something. They have to give a little. They can't just sit on the couch and eat potato chips and expect to lose 50 pounds. Like, that's not how that works. So like, you have to give a little to get a little. And like, it's a thing. It's not about you. And that kind of loops also into the mind getting the better of you, because when you get rejected, all of a sudden your wall weakens, and now you're like, oh God, now you're like thinking all of these negative thoughts about what if I can't do this? What if it's not for me? What if this isn't right? Blah, 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 blah. And going about the what ifs about that forever and ever and ever. You are not protecting your wall enough. If your wall's that weak that when you get rejected, you're falling apart, then you need to build your wall a little bit stronger. And I know Nat just said it in the chat. Like if you're getting hurt, if you are literally upset, physically upset that someone told you no, then you are not doing enough self-development to build your wall strong enough that you can handle that. And you need to up it a lot, because that's just, you got to get a thicker skin. People are going to tell you no for the rest of your life. And if you've never been told no, you're going to get a rude awakening, because people tell you no all the time. It's literally a thing. Like everyone will tell you no until they need it. Then they come back and they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I love your product. Those are the best. It's just a thing. And like you have to let your wall and your skin be thick enough with the positive thoughts of like, well, if this person says no, that's okay. They'll come back. They always do. They always come back. I can't tell you how many people on this team I reached out to and they were like, I'm not doing that. That's crazy. And then 3 months later, guess who was there? Can I have more information about what you do? Oh, sure. Here, let me give it to you. Okay, so it's not, that story cracks me up every time. Nat has this lady that called her the C word in the Not Orders project. But if that is not the top tier of this whole conversation, then I don't know what is. Literally. I have been called every name under the sun. I was put in that, what group is that? It's like, I don't know, it's some, like, what is that called? What group is that called, Nat? It was like Oregon.
Dude, it was like something about MLM
No.
scam. No, I don't even remember. But
I've been in a lot of groups. But it was some like group where people would like talk about people. And like my profile was plastered on this group. And they were like, this lady's a bitch and she doesn't know what she's doing. And this is ridiculous. And she's trying to get you into a scam. And I was like, ooh. Oh, well, like, I don't know, like, if the shoe fits, I probably was. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's going to happen. It's not impossible. Like, it's literally a thing that happens to everyone. You are not the only one that has ever been told no in their life. And you probably are not the only one that's been called a bitch. Like, it's just a thing. And so don't let it weaken your wall. Just brush it off. Be like, okay, all done. Like, literally, like, it was literally right at the beginning of my business, too. I literally was like, is this how this goes? I literally looked at Lex and I was like, this is not right? Like, this isn't, like, normal. Like, people don't do this all the time, right? She's like, no. And I was like, okay. Then I think I'm okay. But, like, I was like, ooh, that's a no for me, dog. I don't need to be plastered all over the internet like that. But, like, that's just a thing that happens. And, like, I hope it never happens to you. But I've had my fair share of crazies in this business. And, like, it just happens. I don't know. Like, don't let it weaken your wall because it happens. Just make sure you're building your wall with your self-development. Make sure you're doing everything that you need to do to make sure that your mind is right. So when you do get rejected, I know. I'm trying to get through my notes as fast as possible because this is a super long one. So when you do get rejected, that it's not the end of the world. So that's basically it. Lex, are you closing us out or?
I'll just close this out. Y'all, thanks for bearing through all this because this was hella long, a lot longer than we thought it was going to be, but we really do appreciate you taking the time to listen to this. If you're watching this on replay, hopefully you're getting the same kind of like hype that all of us gave and that everyone here got. Thank you for keeping your cameras on and interacting. It means a lot to us and we're just not talking to bare faces. So love y'all. Have a great day and we will catch y'all later. Love, peace, and chicken grease.